What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cardboard Box Series. This is episode 50.
Yeah, milestone.
This is a big milestone for us. Yeah, round of applause. Yeah. Obviously, we got a special guest, as you guys could see today. KB Gaither, how's it going today?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, you know, normal Wednesday.
Yeah.
Normal Wednesday, gotta work tomorrow too, huh?
Yeah, fuck that. I don't talk about work.
Yeah.
I hate talking about work.
Kind of makes you want to, like, I don't know, like semi-vomit in your mouth.
Yeah, or just fucking maybe jump off a bridge sometimes.
Never.
How you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing all right. Something's holding me down, though, Joey.
What's that?
You know what's holding me down, Joey?
What's that?
The lack of exoneration in the United States with all these people who are falsely accused and then falsely convicted in the United States.
Giant problem right now in the United States. Yeah. Giant problem.
That's what the podcast is going to be about, in case you couldn't take the hint.
That was for you guys, all right? Get you warmed up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, let's start out with, we're going to discuss this most of the podcast because we watched a documentary on Adnan Saeed.
Adnan.
Yeah. KB's got it.
Yeah.
Adnan Saeed. He was wrongly convicted in 1998 for a murder that people don't think he committed, and that he was basically... So what happened was he was dating this girl. They broke up. They met up then later that night.
And supposedly he strangled her in a Best Buy?
Yeah, he strangled. The story changes like 30 times throughout the whole thing.
A Best Buy?
Yeah. But this dude, Jay, that's his friend, he let him use his phone. And he was making all these calls.
Yeah.
To the same girl at that time of the night. And she was strangled, obviously. And then Adnan Saeed.
Just imagine like Anonymous just had the ad in front of it, Adnan.
Yeah.
But then he was charged with the murder. They basically made all the people, the witnesses changed. Like this dude, Jay, who was the main witness, they basically made a story up for him to go with, and basically they wrote the story out. So the prosecutors made up a story that would fit the whole situation.
Yeah, trying to build like a narrative.
Yeah, trying to build a narrative on Saeed, and then they pinned it on him, and then they found him guilty within like super quick. It wasn't even a thing. Like they didn't test most of the DNA and all that type of stuff.
Still haven't.
Yeah, still haven't tested like any of the DNA that was on there.
Yeah, he had showed up. Actually, they did test it. I'm sorry, that was wrong. But they his blood showed up false. It wasn't a match. So none of Adnan's blood was found.
Yeah, at the car at all. But they're still trying to find him guilty.
He's tried to appeal it multiple times. I think he even took it all the way to his state's Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's where it's at right now in 2019. They're trying to get it. It was denied that he gets another case, but they're trying to get it back. Dude, and the whole process, too. We'll get into the whole process.
Yeah, well, that's what we'll start it off with. We'll start it
Sucks.
Dude, right? Could you imagine that shit?
Like, I hate hearing that shit. But I guess it's good to hear it because it's positive that now these people are getting light to their situations. But to think about it, that shit just sucks, and it makes me hate our government, that they not even necessarily just our government, just how easily people who are in power can get what they want, do what they want,
or sway their way if they even think they're right or wrong, even if they think they're wrong too.
Yeah, I definitely think America has a power problem.
Yes, for sure.
I don't think it's the quantity, how much power the United States is. I think it's how people are using it.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
The power isn't even like just government wise. It's kind of fame wise too. So like if you have fame, then you know someone who's going to be able to protect you in court, or even like that Jussie Smollett shit. Like he knew people to get him that slap on the wrist, right?
Or they just have a bunch of money where they can just let the trial keep going and going, and lawyers keep going, and then they're going to pay a shit ton of money. Or
when they actually do get convicted, it's in one of those tennis court prisons, one of those nice prisons that have a big screen TV.
Yeah.
Or I guess you could just randomly get OJ's lawyer as your I guess, and then be shitting on people, which just happened with Eric Holder. So that's a weird conspiracy, but
that was really weird. Why do you think he went with him?
I think he wants clout. I think he wants clout, so he's like, this is the biggest thing of our decade. I'm taking this case, but I don't really know too much about that. I don't really know too much about him, but from what I've seen and heard, that he's always like clout about like the OJ case and stuff. So he would do it again. I don't know how he can afford that lawyer. So that's what I mean. It has to be.
He might even do a free bono. Free bono, whatever.
Yeah, just for the clout.
Yeah, because a lot of lawyers do that if it's a high profile case. Like, we'll do it for free, and if we win, you pay me. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that type of thing.
Yeah, because at that point, there's so much money at stake.
So much publicity, so much shit going on around the case. That dude's getting life. That dude's getting death, probably.
I think they're about it.
You don't think he's getting life?
Because he's pleading not guilty. So if he's pleading not guilty, they're gonna do something, or they're trying to do something, and not gonna. I guess, I don't know about that guy or whatever. I really should find out his name, but he's the guy who was the one who was like, let's have OJ try on the gloves. Like, he's that guy.
Yeah, I actually know a little bit about the whole scenario with that. What people think happened with it is OJ was taking a medicine that would actually make his hands like enlarge a little bit. So like what they actually had him do was that they either had him stop taking. It was either that or vice versa. That when he took it, it made his hands like.
No, they put on like surgical gloves on OJ's hand because they knew when they put the like, you know, when you put on plastic gloves when you're like digging gross shit or something.
Yeah.
They put those on his hand before they tried the glove on because
they didn't want the DNA on.
Well, they knew when he put he put those on, it wasn't gonna fit. It was gonna be too big for his hand. So they were fucking like, they were smart. They were like, they knew it. That's the whole thing with the system in America. It's like, it's about evidence, but it's also about like, even if you have the evidence, it's the way you present the evidence.
Exactly.
You have to be able to sway the jury almost.
Exactly. Even if the fucking person's guilty. It's weird, dude. I always look at the court system and be like, this shit doesn't make sense to me sometimes. Like, at all. It doesn't make sense to me at all sometimes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It can be really backwards. I think that's a pretty good lead off into what we're gonna talk about. Anyways, with I think back in it was either under Bush's, under Obama's, there was a man named Antonio Sciala. He was a Supreme Court justice, and basically he stated that there was an approximate error rate of imprisonment at 0.027%, which is really small numbers. And this guy named Samuel Gross actually came in and looked at those, and he actually made a reabsorption almost, and he basically found a lot of problems with it, like the whole logic of it, because some people who are falsely accused by police, they're basically told to like make a story up.
Make a story up and then go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, make the story up. They're gonna like go through the story, fix everything that doesn't sound right, and then they're gonna redo it and then be like, all right, record now, say it. Like,
yeah, and they convince you basically if you plead guilty that you'll have a better case, or however they'll go like more lenient on you, and then people fall for that because they don't know anything about the system.
Exactly.
Well, there's a statistic where 9 out of 10 cases are settled with a guilty plea, and so usually evidence is never tested at a trial. So what they do is they give them a plea deal, and they're like, here, if you go to trial, you're gonna lose. Like, you might as well not even try. And you don't know that. Like, you have no idea if you're gonna lose. So they tell you to go to. They tell you don't go to trial because you're gonna lose and get life in prison. Yeah. So we'll give you 20 years. And they'll be like, well, fuck, if I'm going to get life, I'll just take the plea.
That's what I mean. It's seeming real hopeless right now. No matter if you do good or do wrong, you're just like, either way, I'm getting screwed.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. But no, there's a lot of cases going on right now, too. I'm trying to find another fucking statistic.
Yeah, there's fucking, what's it called? What's the channel? The investigation channel.
Yeah, dude, the investigation.
Dude, that shit's got every old person, every person just scared as fuck to go outside.
And then they had the creepy thing too. It's like, investigate.
Yeah, dude. Me and Michael always used to watch that shit. We would go on like binges of watching it nonstop every night. It's the same shit though, over and over again.
It really is. But no, with watching that shit will get you to be like, maybe I should get a strap.
Maybe. I mean, it is America.
Maybe I should settle this and not have to deal with all this.
I kind of feel like that's all. If you had to argue with anyone about being pro or not pro guns, just be like, watch this channel. watch it for 24 hours. How safe do you feel?
I know, dude. Sometimes when I go down to my dad's house, he's always watching, and I'm like, you planning something? What the hell's going on here? You watch shit nonstop, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dude, did you guys hear about the one case about we had this year about the crazy bull over in my area, like in Bucks County, and he put the 3 guys he's in cement and shit, and like
I think I did hear about
didn't
this.
He bury him then?
Dude, yeah, that's becoming an episode on the investigation, John. I just saw it today.
Nah.
Yeah, they're doing an hour-long documentary on that shit.
Yeah, we shouldn't laugh at people buried in
cement. Do not laugh at this.
That's not what's funny about it.
I want to find it.
It's funny that they're trying to bring clout or just bring these things. I guess it's cool that it brings light to the situation.
Yeah, but they're making a lot of money off that shit.
Really, that's, what's it called? Extorting?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing with these.
Oh, that's the American way.
Dude, yeah, that's what you got to do in America. You got to fucking figure out a dirty way to get involved with shit. But now, back to all this good stuff that we're talking about here. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, we were at, basically, what this leads to with this false idea that there's a lot of a lot of people won't win their cases and shit. Basically what it leads to is you're looking at people who have an option of serving life, or going back to being in prison for 20 years. But another factor of what influences that decision is that a lot of the times it makes it more of a decision of, do you want the spotlight of being put on death row? Because if they're giving you an option between life or death row or 20 years, you're more likely to be exonerated when you're on death row than when you're just serving life in prison. Your success rate is 4%. I think it's a 4% are innocent,
and 1.8% of them have been exonerated.
Yeah, so you have but basically when you go back to having being in prison, when you go back to being in just serving in normal prison, the spotlight's not there anymore. Yeah, and what happens is that basically people lose. Their trials get forgotten.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was the one thing you sent with the picture, and it was 1 in 25 people on death row are innocent, which is a fucking crazy statistic, dude. Being on death row and you're innocent, that has to be the worst thing too. Sitting in jail for 20 years, being I didn't even commit this fucking crime.
I listened to a guy talk about that, and literally me hearing him made me tear up because I was just he went through the craziest shit, and he just got through all of it. He went through seeing niggas die, literally having to fight off because if you haven't heard, they're pretty corrupt in there. They make them fight. And he was also in the 80s through 90s, so none of how the mates will get caught for the shit they do nowadays. It was back then when shit was corrupted as
more
fuck.
Raw.
They were just beating these guys down when they're bored and not giving a fuck. That type of shit. And he got out, and his life was still always just cursed. It's a very sad story. Dude, but he's positive about it by speaking and doing all the influencer stuff to keep the good luck on him. But his life is very sad.
Dude, yeah, bro. Sitting in prison for 20 years is fucking terrible for something you didn't even commit.
Yeah, but for the people who are exonerated, the average person who is exonerated spends 8.8 years in prison before they're exonerated.
Christ, dude.
And only 22% of the exonerations involve DNA. Yeah. So that means there's the larger population of that was just because of police pressure for the most part. Mm-hmm. And not outdated technology like you would think. Yeah. Because you think DNA is one of the main reasons why people get wrongly convicted. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what DNA just started becoming what is it? Good, 50 to 20 years ago? Yeah, it's been recently. I was about to find out his Nick Yaris is the guy's name who I'm speaking of. Yeah. And with that case, I remember him saying in the story that he
DNA and stuff got popular, like you said, like about 20 years ago. So it was probably like early 90s when they were like, all right, we can get DNA to find out if you did this. And I remember in the story, he says that the DNA like tipped over in the truck or whatever, and they lost it. And when that happened, they were just like, whatever, you're fucked. And then he had to stay in another 4 years until they were able to get shit. Go back to trial and do more shit.
The justice system is a very slow turning wheel, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's the thing is like you can try and get a retrial and all that stuff, but it takes years, like literal years. It doesn't. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna get one next week. Like there's so much shit, and that's another thing too. Is that's what they're saying in the documentary is like there's so much shit going on, like so many trials. If they did all the trials, it would take them forever and cost them so much money too. That's what they want to do the plea deal, because doing trials costs them so much money. They have to pay lawyers, they have to do so much shit. So it's a big money thing too with them. And there's so many trials to keep up with that they can't keep up with them or figure all of them out. So they're just like, yeah, fuck it. Like,
yeah, it's sort of like fast food of fucking just, they have so many cases, it's such an influx. And that shows on the prison problem in America. America's obsession with privatizing prisons. I hate
business,
private prisons.
It's a fucking business. Like, let's be honest, it's a goddamn business. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. Like,
it's just not right. It's just not, I don't think it's humanly right. I mean, I was reading an article about a really poor town in Africa that basically had a prison in it, and they introduced the game of soccer into the prison, and they allowed the inmates to basically play soccer, and like that allowed for the prisons, like the people, when they were then released, they were 40% more likely to be successful then.
Damn, because they had something going on.
So it's not, I don't think it's a matter of throwing money somewhere. I think it's more of just giving these people positive, constructive things to do with their lives.
Have you guys like heard any of the political stuff from like Andrew Yang or
like basic income and all that good shit?
One of the things that he wants to add is like a tax for being good and not going to jail. So like I guess places already do this. It's called, I can't think, it's called something fixed income.
Yeah.
An economical fixed income to help, so that it's, I think what he wants is that everyone to get about $1,000 a month. And with that, it's you are like being good, not going to jail, and you're getting this, and it's keeping people out of jail, because usually the people who are going to jail, if they're getting just that little bit to be like, let me not make this dumb decision, it's keeping people out of jail.
And then definitely
the people that are in, he was saying that they actually should not even be in from usually most of the situations. So he would also be taking all the people that have like the small possession charges and stuff out. He wants to stop the privatism of everything. That then I guess, like you said, people can be good and have an initiative to want to be good by getting paid. It's actually a pretty good idea, but I don't know how it will ever work in America, because no one's going to want to be giving every American $1,000. But
the problem is America is rich enough for that. That's what's fed to us, though, that America isn't rich enough to have these things where America is by far the richest country in the world. And it's not even close.
I think he said it would cost $3 trillion, but he said that $3 trillion is less than what we pay for the keeping people in. And I was just like, what? But he said over the amount of years. It's crazy. I didn't know all this. He's got all the stats. Andrew Yang, smart guy.
I'm trying to look up how much money is spent on private prisons each year.
It's definitely a hefty amount, and even it's a business too, because the reason why people have a hard time of letting go this idea that prisons should be like this is that people will lose their power. And people will lose what's important to them, and what's important to them is sometimes oppressing other people. And like, I think you see that a lot. Like, I know we have it on the statistics here. It's just like the percentage of population in America, 77% are white and only 13% are black. Now, of inmates, 59% are white, 38% are black. And out of exonerations, 47% of exonerations are for black and 39% are for white. And like, you show that basically shows a systematic racist issue in America. And I think it's really ignorant to like deny it now.
We have a PA judge who got hit hard this year. Did you guys see? He like sold about 1,000 black people to jails.
Oh, wait, I heard about that.
He was taking.
I heard about that.
Over the course of like I think 20 years or such, he was just so it basically the way he would do it. Oh, I just got caught smoking weed in my car or something. I'm gonna give you 5 years because they're paying to get them into the jail because the jail, like you said, private.
Yeah, they make profit off it.
Yeah, they were juveniles too. The judge sentenced to 28 years and massive juvenile sentence. Damn, there's a bunch of those, dude. You'd be fucking surprised how many of those are,
crazy.
dude. You'd be surprised. I was just looking up the private prisons. Where was it? It was like $639 million they gave, the prison of boroughs gave to private prisons. And so that averages out to $22,000 per person, per prisoner to live there.
That shit, when I see that stuff in the news, I'm just like, he's not the only one.
Yeah.
Well, dude, my biggest question is with the justice system is how does somebody go to jail for like 2 pounds of weed and then some dude rapes 3-4-year-old girls and they're like, well, we'll give you 8 years and then they'll be out. It's like, how the fuck does that make
the way drug charges work in this country are very, very just backwards, because if you get charged with 1, it's a certain sentence, and then after 2 it's another way higher sentence, and then after 3 you're facing almost 20 to life.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, dude. It's insanity.
And like it's really just I think it's just ignorant to think it's as easy as that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, it's not as like, I don't believe how prisons, I don't know. I don't think prisons do all that good. Like, people are like, oh, you go to prison, you learn so much. You learn not to do that ever again. It's like, not really. It doesn't seem like that at all. Like, it doesn't seem like that in the slightest bit.
Not the way prisons are in America. I think in certain prisons, that's why I'm saying they should really have proactive communities in these prisons. Such as, if you want religion to play in a factor in America, that's a great place for religion, is in churches and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we have a thing called probation, so we should use that rather than sending people to jail all the time.
Exactly. It's gonna go right away, dude. Instantly, it seems like. They don't even give them a chance. And especially in like low income neighborhoods where people can't afford good lawyers or anything like that, even if they are innocent, you know what I mean? Like, that's another problem with it.
That's
like,
how you get screwed, because then this person who doesn't have money is taking a public defender. That public defender doesn't give a fuck. No one gives a fuck.
And not only that, they're not even respected in the courtroom. I think people downplay how much lawyers have an effect in the courtroom.
Huge,
because lawyers have direct connections to judges, and that turns cases.
Well, you know how many times people would get in trouble and they'd be like, oh, well, so-and-so knows this judge, so I'm going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, that type of shit happens. Like, me and the judge are tight, so we'll be good.
Well,
like,
for example, even the Adnan case we were talking about, I was reading at one of the trials after, like, he kept trying to, like, fight for, like, his freedom. His lawyer was talking to the judge, and the judge made a remark to the lawyer that all the jurors heard, and it was a really like negative remark, and then he had to call a mistrial because the jurors heard that. Yeah,
that's the crazy thing too. If the jurors hear something they're not supposed to hear, they immediately have to call a mistrial. Like, say there's like a piece of evidence, which doesn't make sense to me either. Like, sometimes they keep certain pieces of evidence out, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
but like, if they hear that part of the evidence, they'll have to redo the entire trial.
It's because they're not representing evidence as much as they're representing a narrative.
Yeah.
They're trying to paint a picture, paint a story in your head almost.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Adnan case, Adnan, Jesus Christ. My apologies. Because, dude, when you listen to the whole thing on HBO and stuff, the way he talks, number one, like, I don't think he's guilty, but I'm not going to say he's not guilty because I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But like, the way he talks over the phone, like on the documentary, is ridiculous. Because a person that's like guilty would not talk like that. It does not seem like. And when he found out the girl he killed, like when it all happened, he was, what are you gonna
do you mean he sounds like clueless, or do you mean
he sounds like all of his stories are straight, everything's straight, like there's no holes. Like, you know how if somebody's lying to you and you say, like, they tell you the story,
you can sort of catch them in like a web of lies,
and then like 2 weeks later they tell you the story again and there's like new details added into it, and it's like, oh, you're fucking lying. Like, his story is the same shit. And like, people say, when I don't know, dude, it's weird because, like, you know, how you watch those documentaries too, and like they make you go like back and forth, and then at the end they're like, well, like, you decide.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, this is a big thing to decide on. But no, what I was getting at is I don't remember what I was getting at. Adnan, he was fucking I'm just gonna call him Saeed.
Yeah. Honestly, that sounds more fresh anyway.
Saeed. He was his stories are so straight, and they found out he was with like the group of people, the group of friends, when he found out she was murdered, and the way he acted too when she was murdered around the people. If you killed somebody, you wouldn't act the way he acted. Like, he was crying like constantly and just couldn't grasp what was going on and like losing his mind basically. You killed somebody.
Even though I think the weirdest part of that case is the shovels.
Do they know who, like, not do they know, do they suspect who did do it? Or I saw like the little trailer thing, and they were like, that's a girl went missing at the school, he wasn't with her, they grabbed her. I saw him with her every day. He doesn't like, I didn't see it. I saw like a single
well, this was the weird thing. The dude that found the body was this dude that was just traveling on the highway, and he went to go take a piss off the side of the road. And he just randomly went 200 yards off the road to go take a piss in the middle of nowhere and stumbled across her body. Like, just randomly went to go take a piss and was like, oh shit, a body, like, that's been buried, how did I find this? Like, you know what I mean, dude? It seems there's so many things in the story where you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is not adding up at all. It doesn't make any sense, because if you go take a piss off the side of the road, it's late at night, you really gotta fucking go to.
I'm not going 200 yards.
You're taking the risk.
Some shit be going on, maybe I'm not even getting out of my car, and I'm just
don't you have a water bottle? Uncivilized.
Dude, if anybody gets out of their car, they're either standing at their door and just taking a piss, because how many cars are gonna go on that fucking road? It's a back road, dude. And like, it just sounded so shady. There's so many like moving pieces of the whole situation. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I hate that.
But what the shovels do, that shit is probably, I think that's the shadiest part of the entire case, and I think that sort of points to what happened.
Yeah.
Basically, I think you would probably know it better than me. But
what happened was, okay, so Jay, I know this is hard to catch up on everybody. But
so it's just right now, to recap right now, the police accused Syed or Adnan.
Yeah.
they accused him of basically murdering this, excuse me for lack of a better word, bitch, and
that's probably the right word. Do not say that. This is sad.
We're just playing. It's just a little joke, you know.
Really sad.
Yeah, serious face.
You gotta bring some light to a very sad subject.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're doing a whole podcast.
We're trying to get some notification out for this guy. All right.
But yeah, Adnan basically was accused by these police of murdering this girl, choking her out at a Best Buy, and then burying the body. Some guy stumbled along, pissing on the side of the road, went 200 yards into this, basically, like, was it a field, and then stumbled upon the body. And then after that,
terrible.
Yeah, it is. I'm not laughing at that.
Like, I don't know if it's just the way you're explaining it, or if really the story is that shitty. Like, it's as soon as you say,
it's just laughable,
like, the start of it, that this guy went so far away from his car in the middle of the night and finds a buried body. It's like the start thing, seeing the fucking Law and Order and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, shit doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
It's so fucking true, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, but then they found the body, blamed this guy, and then he's been trying to fight for his freedom because we think that he's innocent.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, you can leave it up to your own opinion. If you want to watch it, check it out.
HBO, it's on HBO.
But
shovels. We're getting to the shovels.
Yeah, but basically, this is where the shady part. This is where it gets crazy. All right, this is the shovels come in, and basically Jay was trying to clean his own shovels, and he helped him bury him.
So this Jay dude apparently helped to bury the girl too, like the main witness. The one
Jay part of their friends.
Yeah, they were like, well, not really. Like they were like like how like you have high school friends, like you're good with these people, and like hey, like they're cool over there, but I don't really fuck with them. Like I don't really hang out with them outside of school, but in school, I'd say what up to them. It was like one of those situations, and like people were questioning why Jay was with the Don and stuff like that and shit like that. It was weird, but yeah. And then after the whole murder thing, Jay went to go meet his friend, and he had shovels, and he's like, I gotta go clean my prints off these shovels so that they don't find him. which makes no sense. And then he changed his story like 3 times. Like, people were saying he told somebody he didn't help, and then he told somebody he did help, and it was like...
And he even then went back to go try to clean the shovels again, I believe so.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like that it was corrupted from the inside, like from the case, or do you think that someone, like a part of that, not the friend group, but someone they know is lying?
I think that it's corrupted in the case. I think the J dude's for sure lying and no more than he says he does.
But I think Jay did it. I think the police, it seems like to me is the police trying to like force something.
Yeah. Well, this is another thing I want to get into with it too, is the prosecutors. Like, prosecutors are ridiculous in these cases. They want a conviction like right away. And what New York's doing now is, where is it? Last week, Governor Andrew M. Cuomo approved legislation to create a special commission to investigate local prosecutors for such allegations of misconduct. The commission would have the authority to sanction prosecutors in extreme cases, remove them from the office. The supporters point out that the district attorneys who are immune from civil... But this is basically getting at that people would overlook the cases, like see if prosecutors are acting shady and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember reading this article now. Yeah. Basically, they would have almost like a committee to like see like the legitimacy of the justice almost.
Yeah. Like, argue that, it says here, the prosecutors who are elected officials in the executive branch argue that 11-member commission violates the separation of powers rule because members are appointed by the judicature and the legislation. But dude, it's like, because prosecutors are super, super, super like relentless when they fucking want to. They just want to win. That's another thing with lawyers. Lawyers just want to win. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they want that check.
Exactly. They don't give a fuck if you're guilty. I mean, I'm not saying all lawyers. Sorry to all. It's not like a fucking lawyer's gonna be listening to this anyways, but but no, like, lawyers want wins. They don't care if they just want to win the case because that's how they get more publicity and get better as a lawyer if they win cases. Like, you know those lawyers that are like, oh, hire him, he'll win. No matter, like, oh, you killed 3 people? Hire this dude, will get you off. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Well, that's how, to become a lawyer, you have to win cases, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I guess unless you have the wiggle room and know people, which I guess happens all the time.
Yeah.
But other than that, then don't you like start your way as the public defender and then you have to win your cases to have I guess like a portfolio of you doing well, and then you can be a lawyer.
I think how it works is that you go to law school and then you get your law degree and then you have to pass a bar exam, and then you have to basically, in theory, you would then start off as a public defender, and then you would have to build a portfolio like you said, and then you could become like a full-time hey, like, I'm a big shot lawyer.
Dude, being a lawyer is fucking ridiculous, dude.
Sucks. I hear it's probably one of the worst jobs to get nowadays because it's gonna run out of business just like everything else. Because lawyer-wise, you have to pick such a specific, like, what you want to do. And
too many niche markets.
Exactly. And unless you're like going as like a divorce lawyer or something right now, then there's not much money anywhere else.
Those injury lawyers you always see. Did you fall and break your leg at work? We got you. Here's that nice big paycheck.
Please just call us. Break your leg and then call us.
No drugs in your system, please.
Have you not used drugs and have a work accident in the past month? We can get you money.
Oh my god.
It reminds me of almost a political campaign almost. They're like over there blaming each other. They're just like, David Bob has killed your whole family and molested your firstborn child. And that's the end of the ad, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like,
dude, late night commercials are the weirdest shit, dude.
They really are.
It feels like you're tripping on acid sometimes when you're watching late night commercials. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Especially Adult Swim.
Oh, I was literally, the words about to pour out of my mouth were, have you guys seen Adult Swim lately? Literally, if you're just high as fuck, or they literally just are, maybe they're trying to lure in crackheads or something, but the shows now and the commercials, none of that shit makes sense, and I feel like it doesn't make sense unless you're high.
Exactly.
So it's like, what is going on?
You have to be more than high to like for that shit. It's just like out there.
Well, dude, watching Adult Swim, like, if you do hallucinogenics, it's like perfect.
Yeah, it really is. Like, literally the commercials now are literally just trippy images and shit. I'm like, all right. I was watching some show. I had no idea what it was.
Squidbillies, dude. You ever see Squidbillies? Squidbillies
is good though.
Come on, bro. Squidbillies is not fucking good.
Dude, I literally learned I'm being a kid. I wasn't away from, I wasn't near rednecks or anything. I knew no sense of reality of rednecks. This show showed me rednecks, and I was just like, what the fuck are these dirty ass? Like, they're just trifling as fuck. And I was, oh my God, I love it. Don't tell me my business, you dumb woman. I was like, yeah.
That's Squidbillies in a nutshell, dude. Literally in a fucking nutshell. But no, this is another thing we go on and talk about, is the money people get after they're exonerated. 21 states don't give money to people after they're exonerated. 21 states don't give money to people after they're exonerated, dude.
That's terrible. They're just like, hey, we fucked up, but it's cool. Well, you had that bankruptcy situation in that one county.
Yeah, there's a county that, here it is. Miss Gonzalez was one of 6 innocent people who were spent, I don't know why they did this, was one of 6 innocent people who consecutively spent 77 years in prison. Like, why are we combining all their 6 sentences into one? Does it make this sound better? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, once again, trying to push a narrative, just like anything else.
What does it say? 77 years in prison in the murder of a 68-year-old woman named Helen Wilson. Shout out Helen Wilson, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Death haunted this rural county for decades. Now, years after DNA evidence exonerated the defendants, they're about to collect a $28 million civil rights judgment against Gage County, which prosecuted them based on false confessions. So, do you think these people should get $28 million for their exoneration between 6 people?
How long
again were they?
I want to say way more than that.
Yeah, what's 77 divided by 6?
I don't even.
It's like 12. But it's anywhere between 11 and 12.
So they spent 12 years in prison each. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, then they should. Yeah, I think
$1 million a year is what you should be getting.
$1 million a year?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I fucks with that.
Like, that's why, because you took a nigga's life, like any moves, and you're holding them back. But
you get out of jail, dude, that shit's gonna show up. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just gonna be like, oh, I was exonerated off your record. Like, it's still probably gonna be like, it's gonna be like an asterisk, like, oh, didn't commit the murder. But
I feel like you have to give them a life. You need to give the person a life when you take away so much of their time.
I think that honestly wouldn't be a bad option. I think maybe giving them some sort of money reparation, and then also offering maybe like a governmental job or like healthcare or shit for like a long time, any kind of like anything like that to sort of like help them, because you're right, the loss of societal time at that point, they lost all the, not only that stuff you can't get back, like your relationships, if they had a kid, you're not getting back that.
Well, one of the things I saw was about a dude that was wrongly convicted, and he was like, I came into jail, my kids were babies, now my kids have babies. And I was like, damn, son, that's a deep fucking quote, dude. Like, that's a deep quote. But no, these people are going to get $28 million, and taxes are going to be raised. What does it say?
Well, it was almost for if you have a farm in this county, the taxes are going to be raised so much you're going to be paying a $10,000 property tax each year.
It says here, I wasn't even born, said Nick Folder, 25, who manages a paint store. He expects to pay an additional $3,500 in property taxes this year on his family's 320-acre farm. I've unfortunately enough money to pay. This is the only thing I fuck with here. Is like, oh, here's the other thing too. With tax bills that she said were likely to increase by $10,000 or more on their farm acres, should the town like get fucked for this? That's the only thing that's questionable about the whole situation. Like, should the people of the town have to pay these people $20 million? Should the government have to pay these people $1 million? Like, or should the state have to pay these people $28 million? That's the big problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, the problem with most of these convictions also is a lot of them are actually in Texas. All these wrong convictions, a large percentage of them are in Texas. I think out of death row convictions that have been overturned, I think not just death row, I think it was death row, all offenses, all felonies, I think maybe. But out of all of them, there was like Texas owned like 87% of them,
which is ridiculous.
Sheesh.
So like that's why I think it should be like a state, more of a state thing.
I want to look up what states. You want to bet money PA doesn't pay a person out if they get fucking wrongly convicted? You want to bet right now?
I bet you we don't.
So don't pay prisoners after exoneration.
Well, it's actually known that Pennsylvania's legal system is based on making money. Pennsylvania has a history of actually making like money off of.
Well, dude, look at Reading, bro. Jesus Christ. It's like one of the most corrupt fucking systems I've ever seen in my life, dude. I found out the other day, I don't really know, I'm not going to mention name, that the council, what is it in the fucking...
City council?
Yeah, the city council and the governor, like, people can't talk. They have, like, one meeting a month, and that's the only time they can talk. If they talk, the mayor's known to fire people. Like, he doesn't want them talking about stuff that's going on until they meet up. It's fucked up, dude. Reading, it gets nothing
It's
done.
even worse. I mean, you even saw it back in, I know this is sort of dating how much I look into politics, but even Rick Perry back in 2000 when he was mayor of
dropping names, dude.
Yeah. But he actually told his people to not mention the word global warming or climate change.
Yeah.
So like press it got to the point where reporters would purposely try to get them to say it and try to fuck them over, and they just totally refused to say it.
That's hilarious.
Dude, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm a political nerd. Not gonna lie. Just a little bit.
I have stopped watching politics because of Trump, dude. I'm just
me too.
fucking over it.
That has really killed it for me.
I've been getting back into it just because of like the presidential shit going on, and I'm trying to...
What, the 40,000 Democrats that are running for president next year?
Dude, yeah, so many. And they're all running on the same shit. Use common sense. We're going to use common sense. We're now going to work with the Republicans. I'm not going to be like the other Democrats. Like,
I know, dude. They're saying all the shit people... Dude, I was listening to a podcast, Your Mom's House. It was today. It was a Joey Diaz episode. And Joey Diaz said something. He's like, remember Reagan? Remember Nixon? Remember like all those presidents? Nixon was a piece of shit, but keep it on. Like how they were like today. Well, Obama was a great president too. You can't take anyone away from Obama. Even if you didn't like Obama as a president, bro, he was a great face for a country.
Yeah.
A fucking amazing.
Economically, he improved the country.
yeah.
Just like, especially having a person that talks like that is like, I look up to that motherfucker. Like, well, maybe one day I could speak like that. And you see Trump talking about grabbing people by the pussy and stuff like that. Like, it's weird, dude. Like, I don't know. Politics, I don't fuck with politics
We're
anymore.
in a meme. We're stuck in a meme. Probably going to last, I think, the most 10 years. But I want to say it's probably going to be gone by like 2025. I think niggas are going to fuck up on all this pretty soon. Like,
social media?
Yeah. Like, cause especially if you've noticed, we had cancel culture, which existed for a minute, and it's still going on. But now people were like canceling cancel culture because we got to the point where people were like, you couldn't fuck up. But now people are like, wait, everyone does fuck up.
Yeah.
So I feel like now once people... like I guess the guy who, like for example, the guy who made
Gardens of the Galaxy.
Exactly, it's exactly the example I was gonna use. Like that was the stupidest shit to ever go down.
Going back on somebody's Twitter from 2000, dude, Twitter in 2011, bro. That shit was literally the Wild West. You said whatever the
Did you
fuck
see
you
his
wanted
jokes?
to.
Did you hear his jokes?
Yeah, it was like child.
Dude,
like
it was
child molesting and shit
literally
like,
like you're a pussy and I'ma fuck you like a 12-year-old and like that type of shit. Terrible jokes, but like
tell me you haven't said that.
Just purposely raunchy jokes.
I don't think I've ever been like I'm gonna fuck you like a 12-year-old.
Honestly, I might have said it. I might have.
But no, dude, that's like, I don't know. You can't go back, dude. I was saying to KB the other day, I sound some fucked up shit I said to him when I was like in 7th grade, dude. I was like, if you go back and see especially in middle school, dude, the shit I said in middle school.
Niggas were ignorant as fuck. Like, and that's just how shit was. But
that's terrible.
Now, if you say something about it though, it's better than being like just ignoring it. That's how I feel about it. So that's why I mean, like with cancel culture, if you acknowledge that you did wrong, then you can't really be mad. Like I was talking about earlier with the Kodak shit. Kodak was like, I don't know that nigga. So
honestly, that was a perfect representation.
He's like, so he didn't know him, and he acts like this all the time. You're not gonna expect much of him. Like,
That's why he got famous, dude. All this fucking personality, bro. That's what it is. All right, here are the states. I gotta give these. There's only 17. Somebody told me 21. I don't know. Different articles here. Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Delaware, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oregon, Pennsylvania.
Oh, come on. We were the only major state in that entire thing. All of those other states were pussies.
And then we got Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Wyoming.
South Dakota?
Can South Dakota, North Dakota just be one goddamn state?
Yeah, can we just name it Dakota and Carolina already?
Like for real, dude. I told you Pennsylvania would be in there, bro. But no, there was another stat about it saying, because then what you have to do, if they won't give you money, then all you do is sue. Like you sue this, I think it's civil state or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, if anyone has Reddit out there, take a scroll through r/legal advice if you want to see how fucked up our legal system is. Because Jesus Christ, some of the cases on that shit are like tremendous.
Well, dude, even like his lawyer was talking, and he's like the justice system is so unfair, it's ridiculous. And he was like a top lawyer. He's like people get wrongly convicted every day. He's like, it's sad, but it happens. Like that's just how the justice system is in this country.
Yeah.
And it's like people are so like stubborn to change ways. What's going on in this country too, which frustrates the living shit out of me. Like if something's wrong, it takes fucking 45 years to change it. In this country,
people get too caught up also on where they grow up in a certain environment, and then they get their head wrapped around that environment is how the world should be.
Yep.
And then they fail to take in any other advice or different opinions, and I think that's where it goes wrong.
Racism right there.
You need diversity. Like in my eyes, the best way to but to make things better is to get other ideas from other people. To me, what's the saying? 2 minds are better than one.
Yeah.
So always, to me, I think of that like times 10. So if you have a bunch of people in a group, and you have a bunch of different diversities, and they're all gonna have input
from a bunch of different backgrounds.
And that's how you make it better. Like I assume you guys heard about Gucci and shit, how they fucked up. Now, like with the nooses and shit, they're now for once hiring black people into like their council.
Yeah.
Because if they had a black person, then the black person would have been like, that shit's racist, obviously.
Yeah.
But they have none on the council, so they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, and the lack of diversity in real strong governmental positions is what's wrong. And that's why when Cortez can run for president, I'm voting for.
Yeah.
That's 100% who I'm voting for. But I think she still has two more presidential terms.
You got to be like 60 years old to be president.
Yeah, that's
facts. What's she, 29?
Yeah, she's got to be like 42, right? Obama was like,
no, you got to be 35, but she's gonna. For her, that's 2 terms. Like I said, there's from who I'm fucking with right now is more or less Yang and Buttigieg.
I'm fucking with that. I can't think of that one dude. The one dude's really good. I can't think of his name though. I'm gonna look him up. There's so many people.
You're right. A lot of Democrats are running on the same platform, and I think another issue that Democrats are gonna face, a really big problem, that Bernie Sanders has a head on him. And I'm not saying I don't want Bernie Sanders.
I honestly think that's bad. I think Bernie shouldn't run.
Funding,
honestly,
the funding is a really important thing, and Bernie Sanders is. All but one person is beating them at the rate of funding right now, and that's how campaigns are won.
I don't want Bernie to run. I know that sounds fucked up, and people are gonna hate me for saying that. But
he would be the best vice president.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want him to run.
Have you guys heard about Biden and shit?
That's another thing, dude. I don't want Biden to run. He's fucking 80 years old.
And that sexual assault case.
Yeah. That was weird, dude.
What exactly happened?
I don't know.
It wasn't a sexual assault.
It wasn't
all the articles the articles that say sexual assault are lying.
Yeah.
That wasn't a sexual assault, and the females I'm not bashing females or being a typical male. Like the females themselves said it was not sexual harassment.
Bad apples in every bunch with every fucking situation there is. Let's be honest here. Like,
I mean, I'm for sure most rape cases and most sexual assault cases are rape and sexual assault cases that should be prosecuted. But you still have the small percentage of people that lie, and like you said, we shouldn't let few bad apples ruin the
Biden fucked up doing what old people do. Like if you say it to someone. Like what he did was he put his hands on girls' shoulders and would like kiss them, or not even kiss them, like put their heads together. Yeah, that's what it was. Like he touch heads like
Yeah.
like that. To our generation, we're like, nigga, you're weird.
Well, even like
don't say hi to me.
That's like the kid sprinting down the hall.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't do that. But I mean, I like.
Well, that was like that girl he kissed. Remember that? He like kissed a girl on the cheek that was like real young or some shit.
That's what I mean. Like our generation, we don't fuck with that. Like
No.
we have a bubble,
Yeah.
and we grew up differently.
Yeah.
We have social anxiety. We don't like being touched. Like we like to be in our bubble. And older people were so more interactive.
Yeah.
So like they want you to like handshake this, like to have a handshake and talk to someone is the most awkward thing ever.
Yeah.
I don't want to be holding your hand and having a conversation.
You gotta make dead eye contact
Like,
to show like you're.
Yeah, they're just like jerking it back and forth.
Like, when people give you like real aggressive handshakes, like how's it going? Dude, I remember the one time I was at a wedding. I was like maybe 10 or 9. I don't know what wedding was, but I shook somebody's hand. I don't know who. I can like literally picture this in my fucking head. It's burned in my head so much. I shook this dude's hand. I didn't give a firm shake. He looked me dead in the eye. He's like, whenever you shake a grown man's hand, always fucking give a firm shake. And I was like, it always stuck with me, dude. And every time I shake his hand, I fucking like you know when you grab somebody's knuckles and like fucking play with them, and they're like, stop, dude. That's how my handshakes are now.
Me personally, I just put nails in my hand and just give them a really hard, firm handshake.
No, dude, it's ridiculous though. I know what you mean though, because I don't know. The dude I was looking at, I was talking about is the Beto. Is this the dude you're talking about? Beto O'Rourke.
He was.
I like the way he talks, dude. I don't even know any of his fucking shit. I like the way he talks.
He was the governor of Texas, right?
O'Rourke is a rising star in the Democratic Party. Ran unsuccessfully for his Senate seat in 2018 while serving his third term in the House. With roots in El Paso, O'Rourke gained national attention in the Senate race when a video of him showing a question about the NFL player that was a great fucking speech too. What he said about the NFL players kneeling too. It was like beautiful. Like I've never heard somebody describe it better. Like it was just fucking beautiful.
The ignorance behind that situation, dude.
I know, dude. Like white racist people are like, "Oh, fucking, well, you stand up for that goddamn."
It's the flag. I hate when people say the flag. It shows such a fascist nationalist like ideology, and it's just backwards.
Well, my favorite part is when I'm sitting at Pappy T's and like a football game comes on and their national anthem comes on. I look around and I'm like, all y'all are sitting and your fucking hats are on. So what's going on here? Like this doesn't make any sense to me, huh?
Did you guys hear about Kyle Korver?
Yeah, dude,
I read that.
Real nigga.
That was beautiful.
I will give that nigga some flowers right now because he at least said some real nigga shit.
Yeah, that was beautiful the way he said it too. He got so much love for that, dude. Yeah. So much love for that. Kyle Korver is a goddamn goat, dude.
Yeah, he gets the good guy of the week.
Yeah, good guy of the week.
Facts.
Yeah, but I don't want Bernie to run.
He smells bad too.
Like I said, if you guys want to look into people who I obviously know nothing about politics and I'm stupid. I'm a normal American. So not that I really know much, and you can have your own opinion, but I would say Yang or Buttigieg.
Yeah.
I think it's Yang is an Asian American, and Buttigieg is a gay white American. So both different things going into
Dude, imagine we had a gay president, dude.
I think it's about to happen. To be honest, not that I say he's gonna win, but I think we're either about to have something different. We need some type of diverse president. We can't. Not I'm saying we can't have the normal white male, but I feel like diversity will give us a push and help us with what we need.
I think we really need diversity in the House and the Supreme Court too, because there's 512 seats in the House, 100 in the Senate, and most of those are filled by white males.
Yeah, white males that are fucking 65, ready to hit death's door, dude.
Yeah,
like
they don't even know what life is like anymore.
How many people do you think are going to college? Like, I'm gonna be a fucking senator one day. You know what I mean? Like, how many kids our age you think are want to go to college to be a fucking senator or work in politics or like?
I feel like back then it was predestined.
Yeah,
and now it's more of a I want to help to do change, and other than that, then no.
Well,
it's also your ability to build a platform too, I think.
Well, that's like when they're like, oh, these cute little, like I remember the one time, what's her name, Cortez had like an idea for, I think it was global warming or something, and Nancy Pelosi was like, oh, that's cute, she wants change, and like that's all she said. I was like, dude, you're a bitch. Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, dude. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. I don't know what it is about her, but I would not enjoy her at all, dude.
I get a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but now the thing when you're running for president or anything politic wise is really people are hitting Joe Rogan or like the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
That's the new form.
Bernie Sanders did a conversation with Killer Mike last year.
That's what I mean.
Like
They're doing these types of things now to bring in the audience rather than the typical, let me just do the whack ass interviews.
Yeah.
They're not even interviews, they're debates, and that's what they had.
Debates don't even really accomplish anything, I think, really anymore. And honestly, a big problem in our political system too is the lack of a third party. Because right now you just have Democrats, Republicans. It's more of making you make a decision that doesn't even really have to be made like that.
Imagine if we didn't have any political parties. Just think about that for a second. We didn't have any political parties.
What's it called? That called majority vote, majority rule.
I think so.
We use majority rule, and majority vote is when it's actually per person.
Yeah. Yep. Because we use electoral votes and all that bullshit. Mm-hmm. How can a person, not saying I want Hillary to win, but 3 million votes more than the person that won? So 3 million, dude, no.
It also has a lot to do with the reorganization of counties in a lot of scenarios, because I know it sounds like nothing, but if you put a major population of Republicans all centered in one county, and then have a major population of Democrats all centered in one county, then that's basically going to swing the election, because some states are determined different than others. Like, for example, I can't vote in Pennsylvania's primaries because I'm registered independent.
Yeah.
So like,
well, I can't vote in Reading, which makes no fucking sense. Like, I have to, because when I moved to Reading, I was talking to JD, and he's like, when you move to Reading, you need to say you moved to Reading like that day so you can vote for the mayor and this council and all that shit. Because like for the skate park, we need a certain type of people that are actually going to get shit done. Mm-hmm. So we need to vote for them. Which is ridiculous. About 100 million people couldn't be bothered to vote this year. That was in 2016. 100 million people did not vote.
Imagine the swing of that.
Motherfucking people did not vote in our country, dude. That is insanity, dude.
Like I said, about the majority vote thing, if we also would add that your vote doesn't go in the trash, then that would fix.
Well, dude, how can you tell people your vote matters when you went and voted for if you voted for Hillary and she won by 3 million votes, but Trump still won with the electoral votes and shit, and like, your vote matters though. It's like, does it really fucking matter though? Like, you can tell us that till the fucking horses come running home, but like, does it really, really fucking matter?
The whole idea of the electoral college is that this electoral, I'm pretty sure it's that I think, if I'm not exactly sure on how the electoral college is selected, but I think a branch of our government, our legislative branch, I believe so. So the House and the Senate, but I'm pretty sure they decide, or certain states vote on these electoral college members, and then they decide who your state votes for at the end of the day. They get the popular vote. Like, they get like the voting from everyone, and then they get the results, and they make a decision based on those results. But they can still decide to do what they want to do at the end of the day.
It says choosing each state's electors is a two-part process. First, the political parties in each state choose slates of potential electorals sometimes before the general election. Second, on the election day, the voters in each state select their state's electors by casting their ballots for president.
Oh yeah, so those are the. In case you're wondering, that's what the other people are.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
But yeah, we got really far away from death, huh?
Yeah, dude, we did.
From exoneration and death. Well, it sort of all plays together, because we're all talking about government
the corruption in government, basically. The entire corruption in fucking government.
Fuck
yeah.
Fuck 12. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not kidding. Not fuck all cops, but fuck
most cops. Nah, joking.
No, I guess I can say it because I don't give a fuck all 12, but I don't mean fuck all 12.
Yeah.
But I always say it, the cop job itself is the dirty job, so you're signing up for a dirty business. So how can you be a good person if you're getting into a dirty business from the start?
Yeah.
So that's how it is. But I mean, there are good people. The cops that are doing good things now, trying to be community things, like help that's how you do it. Put a face to who you're helping, and then people won't want to hurt or kill them.
Yeah, and like I think cops should really be more like they are in Europe. To be honest, they don't. In Europe, cops are they drive strictly only really yellow cars, so you know when they're approaching. So it's not like they're trying to hide from you and bust you for this and bust you for that. And then also on top of that, like they're more of like they're just the help.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not there to like prosecute you and like bring down your life.
Well, dude, that's what I said to somebody. It's like everybody's like, you know, people are like, oh, if you don't have anything on you, why the fuck are you scared if you get pulled over by a cop? Well, after what we learned today,
all these exonerations and shit. Like
after we learned today of all these wrongly convicted people, it's kind of fucking ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? It's fucking insanity.
And even some of the sciences aren't even exact right now. Even with like, for example, marijuana testing. If you get a DUI in any state now, they'll test it with your blood, and your blood contains weed that you've maybe not been high off of for weeks.
Yeah, literally weeks, maybe fucking a month, dude. Could be a goddamn month.
It's the way they do it is the stupidest thing ever. The fact that you can get a DUI if you smoked 29 days ago is the stupidest thing. I saw that I think what state just made it now finally that you can actually not have to have, you can use it for job wise, like you can get hired while having weed, because all these places that have weed legal,
California doesn't even
can't get a job if you smoke weed.
California,
that's backwards.
Doesn't make any fucking sense,
the point?
dude. Doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I kind of want to see what state that was now. No, Mr. Klein made a very, very valid point, because I remember we talked about the legalization of pot, Mr. Klein, the one time. And Mr. Klein was like, I agree with the legalization of pot, but the only thing I'm scared about, which is fucking ridiculous, every time somebody says they're scared of people high on weed driving, makes me want to punch them in the fucking nose. Obviously,
what about alcohol?
Yeah, obviously, you ever smoke pot and you're fucking like, Mr. Klein, we know you've been drinking and driving a little. Let's be honest for a minute. But no, he made a really good point. He was like, until they find something where they can test you on the spot, like test if you're fucked up, which is hard to do. I mean, not really.
They could easily find something, invent this. They could invent it so fucking fast.
Because it's like, if you invent something to like a breathalyzer, like to see how much alcohol is in your blood, or like weed, because I don't know how that works. Like, I don't know how you can't tell the levels of how much weed you smoked, and would it really matter?
But it's basically the best.
Yeah, and that's still not even that accurate.
But I feel like a swab, you can cheat it, but I mean, someone who can't cheat at that time, you're gonna catch. So a swab is better.
That's what blood. European countries do, is mouth swabs. They do roadside mouth swabs in Australia.
You smell weed in their car, whoop, swab.
Yeah. Because that's at least more reliable. Like, even if you smoked 2 days ago, but your car smells like weed, it's kind of like, well, dude, like, your car smells like weed. Like, you failed. It's kind of like, what are we going to do here? Like, instead of the blood test where that could show up in your system for 30 fucking days ago. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, the legal system's fucked in America. And we're talking basically to like put in a more like connected view, a connected world viewpoint. Everything we do sort of affects this, because if at the taller level, if you basically lead a bad life going up to that upper level, like if you explore negative things in life, such as like not being more open to other cultures, you're basically bleeding that ignorance on.
Yeah.
And that ignorance then trickles down to every other part of the government, including law enforcement, including people like prisons. Like, and it's just sad to see.
It's really sad to see, especially in this day and time.
It's real fucked up. But I was thinking about, as you saying that, a lot of with political ways, have you heard that a lot of candidates are running on like reparations and stuff now? Yeah, reparations is actually a thing that a lot of people are running on. I used to, as a black male of America, and I grew up mildly privileged, I guess, poor and not poor, so I kind of got both worlds. But I guess being privileged enough to be in suburbs, I kind of got the idea of being like, oh, reparations, I'm chilling, so why would I can understand when white people are like, no, you don't need them, and I don't care because I don't really need them. But now that I've kind of listened to the other view of other people, reparations actually probably should definitely happen, because if you think about it, 3 grandmas ago, we're still slaves.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if we were property itself and what America gives as reparations is taking away property, we were ourselves property, and we built what is America. So why wouldn't we get reparations? I believe Pepsi just gave reparations to Krispy Kreme. I want to say $1 billion because they got caught for using not caught. They admitted, because it's 2019, they're making reparations. You're giving back. They admitted to using Jews from as slaves from the 40s through 60s. So they gave back $1 billion. That's them making up for their wrong and doing right. That's what. Literally, it's the best thing you can do, and it shows that you're caring, while also then I bet if we did this as America would break so many barriers with the racism, it would just fix and help so many things, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, community, go ahead, Michael.
I think the problem is classism, because if you look at cities, a lot of you look at cities that have these huge condominiums and huge buildings and huge skyscrapers, but the actual people inside the city are poor.
Yeah.
And I that's the problem. We need to bring jobs into these inner cities, and we need to directly assist people with getting these jobs, because like you said, African Americans were definitely predominantly underprivileged in the past 150 years.
That is the idea. I am all for reparations, like I'm saying, and doing good, but I am also completely aware of the ignorance of my black culture and how we are trifling as hell. If you gave us money, we would go buy chains, cars, and not give a fuck. Reparations, I want you to give us land and a way of getting up on the ladder, job, something to succeed. I don't care about giving us money. Give us land and a future. That's what that's what
permanent.
That's what would be good reparations. Not money. We don't give a fuck about money. Show us that we can have a future and some out. What was the John? 10 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
I'll still take that 10 acres.
Yeah, for real.
That's still some good shit today.
10 acres is a lot of money, dude. Yeah. But no, dude, it's true. The communities are like forgotten. Like people just like Detroit, all those Chicago. They're just like, well, we don't know what the fuck to do anymore. So it's like ridiculous. And then they throw cops in there that have never stepped foot in Chicago one time in their life, and they fuck dude. It's ridiculous.
Happy. I'm scared as fuck. Like that's exactly how
I still believe police should be trained military, trained like gruesome training, like military.
The training is definitely it's only 6-month training for
Stadies isn't too bad, but like local cops, like sign up. Yep, you're a cop. Here's your gun. Like,
I think we should do it like the firefighters and have it volunteer, because then at least they care about doing it, just like our volunteer firefighters.
Yeah. You maybe could run into some issues with that, but like maybe like start out as volunteers and work on like very small petty crimes.
I think I watched this thing on Vice, and it was what was it? It was like it was a community. I forget where it was, but it was a community where like the cops wasn't fit for the community at all. Didn't know well. Was it like a bad community? So they made like this night crew basically with like 20 people or 30 people that would walk around the streets all night that were from the community. And if like shit popped off, they would like try to help or like try to figure stuff out. And like they would try to be involved to cool situations down instead of cops just showing up and being like fucking aggressive and fucking we're living in fucking crazy times right now, dude. Like,
there's change coming, but it still has work. We still have a lot of work to do.
I'm about to change. I'm pretty spiritual, so to me it's all just some good being connected stuff. Right now we're being weird because we're taking in so much energy.
Well, social media too, dude. That's what I think it is. And the media, dude, all the media does is ramp up negativity. That's all the media wants.
I look at it positively because that is how it's looked at right now, negative. But to me, social media is our first time as a species that we're being able to connect instantaneously.
Yeah, literally.
And because of that, we are able to put our emotions out right from the start. And when people do that, we, as humans, still are not in control of our emotions.
Yeah, humans are imperfect.
So people are impulsive and angry and right off the back. And since we're doing that, that's how we're hitting it with social media. As soon as we learn to, like I said, take that step back and be like, wait, you can't be perfect. People aren't perfect. Then we will get past that anger of just hitting and flaming people right away, and will be more connected from social media rather than just angry. But everyone in the world hurt people, so everyone's just depressed right now.
Yeah, that has to be a level of forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also has to be a level of like responsibility.
We just got to get through the bad. At least that's how I think of it.
And the generations too, dude. Like we're still in a phase where like, dude, fucking segregation was what, like not even a fucking 100 years ago, dude.
My grandma's, I said grandma's, 3 grandmas away were slaves. My grandma still lived through segregation. So I mean,
it's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. It's
and like
insane.
and now we're facing so many like world pressures and like world like problems together as a society, and it's almost like seeming like we're cruising on to a very crucial point in history.
Huge, dude. Giant.
But it's still like I said, I'll always put some positive on it. It's the best things have ever been as of right now. Like we are in a golden age of things. Like even feminist wise, girls yelling at all the guys now for the way they were touched. I think it's funny. What's her name? Amy Schumer. I saw her special, and she says that she's like, she talks as herself probably being a 40-year-old woman. She's like, oh, you young millennials, you're yelling at them for touching you? We always could have done that. Like, now we want to speak up about things because our generation is like, why would you let them touch you like that? Or why are you not speaking out? Like other people were just letting it happen. We're the generation to be like telling people to know that they did wrong, and that's good.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. You got any topics, guys?
I'll throw this one in there. Maybe a preview for a future podcast. But I'm talking about Senator Paul Wellstone right now.
Paul Wellstone.
Last podcast we talked about the good old Dick Cheney. We talked about fearsome old Dick. Paul Wellstone was a senator back in 2002. He was the only senator in the entire Senate to vote against the Iraq War. Before he died, he was introducing bills to stop corporations to donating to super PACs, which then super PACs donate to your individual campaigns. But he basically was trying to do all this, and then when he was rerunning, he crashed his plane and died 10 days before the election. So much shit. Shout out to Senator Paul Wellstone.
Yes, sir. All right, KB, got any topics? You want to plug your show?
Not much topics. Just I got show 420. Hey. Eat your rocket with the pot all crazy. Come smoke, chill. You can follow me, KBBaby18 or Swank King anywhere. Peep my music. Trip Squad. Y'all already know.
Check it out.
The only person that plugs himself. I'm very surprised by that, too.
Yeah, seriously, if you're coming on, you want some plug, please.
Plug yourself, please. Yeah. That's what the whole point of this podcast is for. All right, that was a great podcast. It went very, very well. A lot better than last
one. Thanks for coming on, KB.
Hell yeah. We were going to bring Bickley on, but he had something to do at 8 o'clock, so...
Fuck Frank. And Frank, I hope you hear this. You're a pussy. And that's why I didn't get you your Newport.
All right, that was the 50th episode of the Carl Box Story. Bye.
Adios.
I grew up on the east side, the mug and be B-side, deep fried and greet line, clam baked by the seaside, 10 legs wearing knee-highs. Sand shakes off their sweet thighs back in 99 when I was silver spoon fair. Pops had the poacher, doling out the bread. John's on the salsa, going against his head. I got divorced, cold as a coast, but there ain't